Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at Kline's Run. Kline's Run is just south of Columbia, but it's on the other side of the river. I'm sure that I have the town wrong because that's kind of my thing. I'll post the actual town in a little bar so that you can see where it actually is, but you know, I'm sure you all have U-discs, so just type in Kline's Run, you'll find it. I think I'm going to do the orange baskets. They have orange baskets and green baskets here. The green are the short baskets, the orange are the long baskets. This course isn't that long, so doing the orange baskets will give you a look at the green locations as well. But I kind of like the orange layout a little better, so I'm gonna give that a shot. Kline's Run is pretty hilly. I mean, I haven't counted, but probably half of the holes have some form of elevation change, and most of them are pretty significant. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but we're standing here at hole 1, and that's quite an elevation change for just 256 feet. I don't see an elevation change on the sign. Is there one there? No, they just show that there is an uphill. Okay, it's pretty steep. Anyway, hole 1 is 256 feet. There is only one basket, one tee pad, the green basket. See if I can step out of the frame far enough. It's at the top of the hill. So I'm gonna get my arm a little loose here and get going. It's like, I don't know, about 45 degrees this morning, little breeze. We are very close to the river. I'm sure as the video goes on, I'll be able to show you some spectacular views, especially from hole 2, the basket of hole 2, the basket of hole 4, I think, and then the end, 18. All give you a great shot of the river. And I'm rambling, so I'm going to warm up and then we can get going. All right, let's get going. Hole 1, 256, like I said in my intro. Uphill by quite a bit. Quite a bit. 256 and I don't even get there. So I just want something that gets up on the hill and doesn't roll down. Not only does the slope come towards the tee pad, but it also goes right to left. So if you don't land correctly, you got a chance of rolling down, and there is OB on the left with a park road. Negligible breeze. If anything, it's coming off the river, so it's going to be hitting me in the back. It's going to be a tailwind. I'm going to try to toss a forehand up there. There's a couple of trees here on the left. I'm going to try to go around them and keep it up on the hill. See how we do here. Oh, it's way high. That was very, very high. All right, well, let's go see what we got. Okay, not bad. Outside of circle 2, but that's all right. Now I've played this forehand so that I'm back into the slope, and for some reason the forehand wants to twirl and roll. So I'm just gonna do a backhand up there. It'll match the slope a little better and hopefully keep me from going back down the hill. Just so. All right, you can probably tell from the angle of the camera and the angle of the basket how sloped this is right to left. All right, that's a par for me every day, all day. Okay, hole 2, 236. It's downhill a little bit. Well, let's just say Kline's Run has some very unique holes. Hole 2 is one of them. The entire fairway slopes left to right, but when you get close to the basket, it's barely a slope. It's more like a cliff. The basket sits on a little platform and everything around it slopes hard. The basket, if you can see the tulip poplar in the distance, the basket's pretty much lined up right behind that. So you got to go way out around it to the right, hyzer, right-hand hyzer, or try to go straight in between the tulip poplar and it's probably a maple. That's usually the path I take. Especially because the hyzer, if you come down and land on that slope and it doesn't do some kind of tumble and stick, you're going to end up way down at the bottom again. And I already walked up that hill once. I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to take my warship, little bit understable warship, and try to go in between those two trees and get close enough that I might even have a putt. Can we see? Okay, I just wanted to make sure you could see the shot. All right, so let's see what we can do here. These tee pads, some of these tee pads are a little narrow for me because I come across the tee pad. So it kind of messes with my form. Oh. Well, if it doesn't catch a branch, that should work nicely. Alrighty, I've adjusted the camera so you can see exactly how sloped this thing really is. I ended up pin high and I don't know what it is, 10, 12 feet, which I'll take that every day, especially on this one. If you don't stick, and I'll turn the camera so you can see how far downhill this goes. It's brutal. Let me adjust the camera here, make it level with the cart. This is the downhill. And if you don't land flat, you're gonna end up down there in the playground. Not where you wanna be. Okay, this is hole 3. The sign only has the distance for the green basket, which is 220, and it's up on top of this hill and around behind these couple of trees. The orange, which is what we'll be playing, is 291, and you basically have to go up on the hill and past the green basket, and then the basket is in a dense group of trees off to the right. So basically get up on the hill, get to the right, and we'll see the opening. Hopefully I'll be able to get a shot to where you can see the opening on the second on my second throw. Oh, and by the way, that slope that I was saying about on hole 2, I lost my footing and slid down half of it. So yeah, it's steep. I usually throw a backhand here because my forehand cuts a little too much. and it would come back down the hill too far. And if I gain altitude, I certainly don't want to give it back. Well, I'm not going to gain a lot of altitude throwing like that. That was way too low. Okay, so I didn't even clear both of the trees. You can see the green basket up here on the hill. The opening I'm looking for is past, I don't know if it'll come out on the camera, past this extending branch and then around and down to the right. The basket is set down on the far slope, so you have to be careful of rollerways there too. Yeehaw. So, since I didn't get very far up the hill, what are we going to want to throw? Usually I just throw an overstable mid. I think, let's forehand this Fortress up there. See if we can't get past that branch and at least reasonably close to the opening. Whew, man. Oh, I went way too far. I went way too far. I was not expecting it to go that straight. I was expecting it to cut more. All right, so my second shot ended up back here behind these trees. I'm not sure. The orange basket is about halfway down the slope. You can see a little trail here. I don't have a whole lot of options. So I think I'm just going to try to touch shot a mid down, and hopefully it doesn't roll the rest of the way down the hill. Apparently I misplaced my ancient swan, so I'm gonna have to improvise here. I'm gonna use a tersus here and just try to go right down that path. Oh shoot! It did, all the way to the bottom. All right, well, this may be a bigger number than I want. All right, well, now, adjust the camera here so we can actually get a good look at what I'm looking at. I went almost all the way to the bottom of the hill. And by the way, dragging that cart down that slope was not fun. It is slippery out here. It's just wet, but slippery. So I ended up here by this tree, and I think you can probably see the basket is halfway back up the slope. So I'm going to try just throw an easy little forehand, get through all the branches, try to save a bogey. The orange hole is a par 4. So let's see if we can get up there. All right, well, we'll see if I can make that putt. I'm just going to leave the camera so I don't have to drag the cart back up this way. I did say that I liked the long layout more than the short layout. Didn't say that it liked me back. All right. All right. I'll take a bogey, especially with that flyby. That was pretty brutal. the course designers here decided to give you a taste of what they had in mind. So play uphill on hole 1, go across the top on hole 2, walk down, play uphill on hole 3, walk down, and play uphill on hole 4. Sadistic buggers. All right. Hopefully, let's see if I can see my, yeah, I can see. Okay. This is hole 4. Nice. Both distances are marked on hole 4's tee sign. The green is 185. Now, the green, as I'm looking off the end of the tee pad, the green basket is to the right, and it's basically what I say, 185, just over a little rise and through some trees. Skill shot, because you have to go, it's low ceiling and you've got a bit of a tunnel to throw through. The orange basket is 402, and the orange basket basically throws straight off the tee pad, and then once you clear this group of trees that I just played through with hole 3, it fish hooks around to the left. So the big arms are going to throw us, going to throw far enough to get past that group of trees and be able to see the basket up the slope. That ain't me. I just want to not get stymied behind a tree or a bush up here so that I can throw something overstable up around the corner and maybe get close enough to look at a birdie. But my goal here is a par. And the wind here, the breeze has shifted a bit. It was coming off the water, which would have made it a tailwind right to left. It isn't anymore. Now it's pretty much just a right to left, a little bit of a headwind. So that's going to help me get around that corner if I could get far enough, which I usually cannot. And I turned it over. Hopefully I go around that bush. I did. Okay, good enough. Okay, well, this is why you don't want to be, you want to either be shorter than where I am right now or farther. If I were shorter, I wouldn't have these trees right here interfering with my shot. I'd be over here somewhere and I could go right up the middle. If I were a little longer, I'd be out here somewhere. I wouldn't have these trees right in the middle and I could go straight up. As it is, I have no idea. I could try a flex backhand. I could try to go right up the middle, but there's enough low branches there. I'm not sure that's a wise move. I think I'm going to try a flex backhand, but I need a less stable disc. So let me pull my mid-level king. Get all the grass clippings off of it. All right. So the idea here is to go high flex and have the disc come back out. You know what? I'm even going to move down stability even more. I'm going to get my flippy almost roller king. So what I want to do is go up to the left side of this tree and be able to cut way back. So I gotta cut across across the slope. All right, that should give me at least a little bit of a look to save the par. I think the par here is also a 4. Let me check that. Par here is also a 4. So, okay, well, I'm still a little inside. So I'm gonna have to go out around that tree. I would have liked it to have gone a little further right. Oh, these first couple of holes, all the uphills just kill me. Let's use a Bard for this one. I think the anvil might be a little too extreme for that shot. Let's try the Bard. So, all right. So, to the right of this big, miss the branches, get up there to the basket. Whew. Give it enough to get up there. All right, that should work. All right. You know how I said earlier that the course designers were sadistic for putting all these upslope throws first on the course? And I was walking up to this basket, I just called them something a little less savory. Okay, hole 5. 240, only one basket. More uphill. Hey, there's a shock. 240 doesn't seem like a lot, but with that slope, it's as far as I can throw, plus a little. The basket pretty much lines up with that little group of 3 trees, so you have to go around them. I've hit those trees more often than I think I should, but hey, that's why we're out here practicing. So let's just full pull, get up there as close as we can. Who knows, I might have a little extra and have a look at a birdie. And miss it. Oh, I missed the trees. I don't know how I managed to get close to those trees when I don't aim anywhere close to them. All right, well, it's a circle 2 look, but we all know circle 2 is not my thing. And if I could ever catch my breath from all the uphills. Ooh, that actually is closer than I thought. Now, I said that this was a picturesque, this had some picturesque holes. This would be one of them. I love that view. All right, another par. All right, hole 6. Oops. Camera. Angle. There we go. Better. There we go. All right. Hole 6. Green is 275. And orange is 575. Basically flat. I mean, it's a little downhill. But as you can kind of see, it's like a pinball machine. There are fairways, there are pathways, and I can barely see here. Hang on a second. There we go. Better. Green is straight along the little path roadway here. There is a fairway 3/4 of the way there, but the road is OB, so you have to be careful throwing it green. You need to throw a forehand. I've seen people throw a forehand out over the road. You can throw a backhand down the main fairway, which is here on the right, which is the one I'm going to take to get down to orange. Now, orange, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go down this fairway, and then it angles left a little, and then there's another fairway that goes up over the ridge, and the basket is down on the other side. So now that I talked big about what I am going to do, let's see if I can actually do it. I'm going to use a stag for this. This is my fairly neutral stag, although it has a nice finish. It should hold long enough to get down to the corner. It is a bit of a tight fairway though, so let's see what happens. Missed that tree. All right, I came up to the left a little more than I wanted, and I didn't quite get to the corner, but I didn't hit a tree. I didn't fly off in a weird direction, so I still have a shot. Okay, so now the fun begins. I've got all of this that I've got to get through. Green basket, by the way, is right up here. I'd have a just outside the circle putt at green. I need to get up over that ridge. And I need to get as far as possible without hitting a tree and going off at an angle. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to take the bear that I have in my cart, which is pretty understable for a forehand, but it's going to hold the anhyzer for a while, and hopefully if I don't hit a tree, it'll give me a little extra distance. All right, I'm down there on the right. I should be able to see the basket from there. Okay, so not a bad shot, but a bit unlucky because I ended up against this tree. Now, I can see the yellow basket, and I have a couple of lines. I could probably forehand to the left and have it come back, but I'm not sure. The forehand's going to come in at a hard angle, and the green does run away. So, what am I going to do here? What I want to do is throw a backhand, and if I hug this tree, maybe, I want to throw a backhand down that way. I don't know if I can get enough on it. Let's see. Well, that's gonna be mulligan number 1, because this is hole 6, so it's my last chance. So I might as well take advantage. And it also means that I'm just going to do the forehand that I should have done in the first place. Sweat in my eyes. All right, should have just suck it up and do this to begin with. I've got a bit of a right to left, so be careful of how much angle. Well, it's a pretty big skip. I don't know where it ended up. Let's go find out. All right, not bad. Not bad. I should have done that to begin with. Kline's run, pretty much the entire course is up on a hill, and it's right by the river, so there's a lot of breeze, and it's about 40 degrees, or 45 degrees, maybe a little warmer, but there's enough breeze that we're kind of in that place where it's warm enough to get all sweaty, but too cold to take your jacket off, because then you'll freeze. Okay, hole 7. Green. Green is a new, oops, let's try that again. There we go. And tilt it up. There we go. All right, hole 7. Green is a fairly recent addition, in the last year or two maybe. And the green basket is over to the right, so you kind of have to get around these big trees somehow. It's only 224. I'm not a fan. Orange, you can't see. It's straight down the slope. The slope drops off. There's a road behind it. It's 295. I can reach it with a mid-range, but you have to be careful, because you can fly the green and land on the road OB. And if you don't fly the green and you don't get close, then you have a death putt. So we are going to take, or I am going to take my more stable warship, and I'm going to try to go straight down the fairway, tuck in behind those trees right at the basket, hopefully. All right. Well, it's looking good so far. I'm short. All right. Okay. Well, a little short. Not as short as I thought it was. Oh yeah. I will take that. This is the site of my only cubby ace. And if you're not familiar with cubby aces, cubby refers to Carl Cubbage, who was an extremely well-known disc golfer from New Jersey. He ran some of the first tournament videos. He did something called Disc Golf Monthly, which when I was starting out, I watched every single episode. I was lucky enough to be the same age as him, so I got to play in divisions with him quite often. And he played incessantly. He was doing 3, 4, 5 rounds in a day, which in and of itself was impressive. But he would get aces during these single rounds or practice rounds, and he would call them cubby aces, and he kept track. And I forget how many he had. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, and the disc golf world lost a real ambassador. So, hey, that's for you, Cubby. That ace I got here a couple years ago, that one's for you. All right, this is hole 8. Oh, let's see if we can't get a better camera angle. That should work. Oh. Hole 8. Green is 375. Orange is 478. I love this hole. Love it. Green is straight ahead on the upslope. So just get through these trees, pick a lane, do it. Orange, you go towards the green basket, get down into the little gully here. Take a slight left and go out along the ridge in the trees. It is a tough hole. So, goal number 1 is to not hit an early tree and get down to the turn. We got a pretty stiff tailwind at this point, so just don't hit the little ridge right in front of the tee pad. I didn't. And I should be down there nice. I should have a nice spot. All right. So, the basket is straight up this way on the side of that ridge, up behind that next set of trees. I am going to do something silly and try to throw, instead of throwing a backhand up the obvious gap, I'm going to try to throw right at those trees, see if I can miss them and get up there for a birdie. Now the problem is I've got this tree in the way, so it's a standstill. Let's see what happens. All right, just don't hit that tree. Famous last words. Well, I am on the green. I did not hit this tree, and I didn't hit that tree. Okay, yeah, you can see how sloped this green is. And I'm outside the circle. So, nah, I don't feel like going down, taking an OB stroke, rolling down onto the road, which is just to the left. So, we're just gonna pitch up, take our par, and not take a bigger number. All right. Oh yeah. I don't have to worry about being overheated anymore. And that breeze has kicked up, and it's It's gotten chilly. All right, this is hole 9. Lift the camera up a little so you can see my smiling face. Hole 9, 363. It's very downhill. Through a tunnel, OB Road on the left, the basket, and there's only one, curves around to the right, and there's a big tree right on the green, and I end up under it all the time, either under it or OB. So we're going to try throwing something a little different. I'm going to throw this Orbit sword and see if I can't get it to hold straight a little longer than I normally do with my forehand and get past that stupid tree. Oh, don't hit the tree. Oh, it didn't. And I think I'm on the green. I may even have gotten past that tree. Huh. Wow, best shot I've ever had on this hole. Absolutely best drive I've ever had. This is the tree. And actually, now that I look, it's like 5 trees. But they're a pain in the butt to be underneath. First birdie on that hole. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. That feels good. That feels good to birdies. Birdie something new for a change. All right. Hole 10, 205. Only one target on this basket as well. Oops. Let's turn this just a little. There we go. The basket is up on a hill behind all these trees. There's a path to the right, and that is your fairway. And there's basically a cliff up here with a rock wall. The basket's up on top of the rock wall. If you don't get high enough, you hit the wall and you drop straight down. It makes for a tough second shot. If you go too high, you fade out and go into the OB Creek that's on the left. So, distance control, angle control, height control. I'm lucky if I get 2 out of 3. All right, well, let's see what happens. I was going to move the camera, give a better angle for my shot, but let's just see. Let's just see if this works. Well, if you missed the little one, nope, did not miss the little one. So I am short of the wall and hopefully not in the creek. Alrighty, the basket is up on top of the wall between those trees. If it comes out in the video, you'll be able to see the flag that they have on top of the basket. And now you can see why not getting past the wall makes this such a tough shot. Because not only do you have the trees in the way, but you got to go up over the wall, and I'm close enough that I cannot see. I cannot see the basket. I can't even see the flag. Trying to get a sense of exactly where I want to go here. And I can't find, there it is. Okay, now I have an idea of where I need to go. Wow. All right, well, let's see what happens. Oops, that was way too far. Too far, too much angle, and it was to the left, I think. Seemed like it was too far left. So let's see where it ended up. All right, well, my guess is that it cut rolled because it ended up okay. Okay, hole 11. Green is 220, orange is 230. Very downhill. I love this hole. This is so cool. There's a creek, an OB creek, in between you and the orange basket. Orange basket is on a birthday cake platform. So it's an elevated basket. It's just a fun shot. 230, I mean, easily reachable with a mid-range. But OB Creek in front, OB Road behind, and trees on either side. So have your A game. The green basket, the 220 basket, right before the creek, turn hard right, and it's up along the creek. For me, it's a forehand with a very overstable mid. You know, challenge the creek, but you know, get down there and around the corner. But we're not playing green, we're playing orange. So let's see if I can get across the creek and not go out on the road. Oh man! I am in the creek. I nicked a tree up here on the right and dropped right into the creek. So, now at tournaments, sometimes they play a drop zone over on the other side on the road, but I don't think that that's normal. Let me... Yeah, there's no drop zone on the T sign, so we're going to assume a normal OB rules. Okay, well, here's OB. This is where I went out. So I just want to not go OB again. So the OB marker is here. I got a couple of branches in my way. So I'll back up. There we go. Oof. All right. Don't go OB again. Just drop. There we go. All right. Okay, hopefully the microphone still works from here. All right, saved the bogey. Question is, do I want to try to rock hop back over there? Oh, heck no. Alrighty, this is hole 12. Green is 470, orange is 572, both par. Oops. Both par camera angle. Both par fours. There we go. Much better. All right. Hole 12. Par 4, both green and orange. Green is 470, orange is 572. This is the only hole, I think, where the green basket is more fun than the orange. Because green, you have to go down here across the creek and then go up the far side between the creek and the road. And getting across the creek is no easy feat because it's tree lined. Orange, we're just going straight down on this side of the creek. Got trees to manage, but no creek crossing. So now on orange, there's some pretty hefty rough on the right and the creek on the left, of course. But I want to try to stay in the middle, and the backhand, hang on a second, excuse me. The backhand just rides that rough a little too long. So I'm gonna throw a forehand down here. See if I can't just bring it right back into the middle and give myself a look for my second shot. Ooh, a little bit of a headwind. Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Oh, I'm right behind that big tree. Right flipping behind that big tree. Ay, ay, ay. All right. So you can kind of see the basket way down here in the distance. I've got the mother of all guardian trees right in my face. I've got a bit of a headwind, a little bit left to right, maybe, sort of. So I could try a backhand, but I'm thinking if I can hold this anhyzer around that corner, forehand might give me a little bit more distance. So let's try it. I'm going to stand still so I can control my hip angle. Oh man, I either hit something or I don't have as much oomph as I thought. Because man, that didn't go anywhere. That was very, very short. Okay. So, to the left or to the right? I'm going to go to the right. Let's see how well it works. Seems to be about the same amount of trees on either side. Of course I hit that tree. Well, it's worth a try. All right. Longer putt than I normally like for a par. I think I'm just inside the circle. Ha! Snuck it in. All right. 2/3 done. One of the only minor, and I mean really minor, inconveniences of Kline's run is the creek crossings. If you have a cart, the creek crossings are a little more difficult. There's only one bridge across the creek, so like if you're playing Orange 11, you have to walk way out around to go across the bridge to get to to the basket and then back for the tee pad at 12. And if you're playing 12 orange and you want to use the bridge, you play all the way down to 12 basket, all the way back to the bridge, and then back up to 13's tee pad. So, like I said, minor inconvenience. If you have a bag, it doesn't matter. You just creek hop. Okay, hole 13. Green is 235. Orange is 406. It's uphill. Green is basically right behind that group of 3 trees that you see in the middle of the fairway. Orange, you want to go up this right side and just kind of stay to the right, up over the hill, and the basket's 406 feet. Since I'm playing orange, I'm going to try going up this right side. I'm not going to get to the top of the hill because, nose up and uphill doesn't go together. But it'll get me started. All right. I've been pulling shots all day. Let's see if we can correct that. Oh, that should work. Let's see what we see when we get up there. All right, second shot. I still can't see the basket. I've got to get up over this ridge. There it is. Let's straight that way. Okay. Got to get a move on because I'm getting chased by a group behind me. I may let them pass at some point soon. So, let's just get up through this gap. That road on the right is OB. We don't want to go out there. So, like that. Here's another hole I don't normally get a birdie look on. This is nice. Edge of circle or just outside. Nope. Pole hit. It wasn't quite high enough. Oh yeah. All these uphills. Some old guy's gonna have a heart attack one of these days. Let's hope it's not me. Whew. All right, hole 14, 488. I stopped and let a group go by me, and I sat, and now it's cold. Now I'm cold. All right, anyway, 14, 488. Basket's up on the top of the hill, beyond all those trees. There is a couple of pathways up here. I actually like to go up to the right, and that way I can work around the outside of that group of trees and come in on the back side. At the green, there's a road right behind the basket, which is OB, and if you're really not careful, there's a road to the right you got quite a bit of room, but there's a road to the right that's also OB. So what I'm going to do, instead of going straight off the tee pad, is I'm going to go off the front right corner with a forehand flex and try to get up here into this open area where I can get up onto the right shelf. I'm not playing this one for birdie. It's too far. 488 uphill plus all the trees. I'm happy with a par. All right. Oh, I left it too far right. And I think I got away with it. Wow. I missed those branches and those top couple of trees up there. And I'm up on the right. So I'm where I wanted to be, just not the road I wanted to take. Okay, second shot. So this is pretty much still a full pull or almost. Let's clear some of these branches as they will be in my head if I don't. There we go. So the green does slope from right to left, so you have to be careful not to skip too far down. I think I'm going to play up here, play up to the right, up towards 6's tee pad, and let it drift back down. I still don't think I'm going to get close enough for a birdie, but I can at least get close enough to get it easy up and down and not have to worry too much. The air got on top of the flight plate and pushed it down, but I got some really nice ground play up there. All right, once again, a lot closer than I expected it to be. Edge of circle, but I got this tree on the right side, so that makes the putt a little harder. So, soft bid maybe, but don't do anything dumb. Dumb would be hitting that tree on the right. Oh, brother. Ay, ay, ay. My brain must have heard the word dumb and said, oh, okay. Still, that's an easy par. I'll take it on that hole. Okay. Hole 15. Green basket is 326. It's a par 3. Orange basket is 513. It's a par 4. The green basket, and to back up here far enough that you can see maybe, is literally straight ahead in that group of trees. The orange basket is actually literally straight ahead past the green basket down over the hill. But going through those trees is silly. So I have a tendency to play out here to the left into the clear and then come around the left side of that group of trees. And this basket is up on an elevated platform, so and you'll see that when we get there. So step one is just get out here on the left in the flat. I've got a bit of a headwind right to left, so it's going to push my forehand flex down a little bit if it flexes, and then it's going to push it to the right. So I'd actually like to go out here to the right, but no, because that's going to leave me behind those trees, and I don't want to be there. Oh, crap. Well, I ended up more right than I wanted to be anyway. Yank that shot to the right a bit. Okay, so from here, green basket's right here. The orange basket is actually this way, so it's more to the left. From here to the left, I still have 3 or 4 trees here that I need to get up around, which I'm going to try to do, but in order to come back far enough for the basket, I'm going to have to go pretty high. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I want to go right up that way. So, oh, I kept it to the left. I gave it way too much angle. That's all right. Let's see if we can get up and down from there. All right, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the green does slope away from the tee pad, so from where I am now, it's sloping right to left. I just want to get nice and close so I don't have a long putt at a raised basket. That would probably be about as close as you can get. All right, hole 16. Green is 313, it's par 3. And orange is 492, it's par 4. The camera's a little twisted, but all right. First of all, you throw through these goalposts. Secondly, the next tree up on the right, which from the camera angle I don't think you can see, there's a Mando sign on it, so you have to stay to the left. That's because there's a picnic area down over the road to the right. The road does run along the right side. The green basket is down over the hill, past the Mando, and slightly right. The orange basket, I'm going to cross the camera here, the orange basket is basically straight ahead. The problem is there's a lot of trees in between you and the basket. And one of the things that I kind of discovered is, and by accident mind you, is that if you let a shot go down as if you're playing green, there's fewer trees to navigate coming back up the hill on the right side. So that's usually what I do, although I'm thinking I may just go straight and see what happens, because I don't normally do that, and I can use the practice. So let's see what happens. Let's just hammer one out there and see where it goes. Ah, hit a tree. Down the middle. Not almost a full flight though. Okay. Well, this is why I don't normally go this way. Because now A, I'm snookered behind a tree. And B, I've got a lot of trees and branches in between me and the basket. So what am I going to do here? I have no idea. There's way too many branches on the right to try to go that way. So left. So then now, having said that, now this tree kind of precludes a forehand unless I step back, and that I don't get a lot of torso torque when I do it that way. So backhand. So it's probably going to be a step out. I can do a standstill flex, or I can do a step out. I think I'm going to do a step out and use a disc that'll, well, I'll use my stag. I'm not going to get all the way there. No possible way. But I'm going to use a stag. Hopefully it'll hold. It should hold an Anheuser for a little bit and get me at least lined up with a shot to the basket. Oh, man. Oh, where's the flex? There was no flex there at all. Now that's a little frustrating. That wasn't anywhere close to the shot I wanted to throw. Okay, so out of the frying pan into the fire. Since I didn't get the shot off that I wanted to get off, now I am up on the left side of the fairway, and there is a lot of trees in between me and the basket. So the obvious path is this way and come back into the green. There's also, looks like there might be, I could forehand flex down through here, but that's tight. The only thing I have to worry about this way is a couple of low branches. So let's see if we can't just put something close. There must be a left to right that I didn't feel, because it held that disc straight. Okay. Well, shenanigans. If it would have been about 2 feet shorter, that guy would have been right in the way. As it is, I've got a straddle. Beauty. Next time, I'll play that hole the way I normally play it and go out to the right. All right, the last two holes at Kline's are a blast. They are so much fun. Hole 17 is a par 3, 320. It's only one basket. It's actually, at the end of it, it's a little uphill, although the initial part of the shot, you're throwing over a downhill, goes down and back up. The basket is tucked up to the right, so you've got to throw down through all these trees, get around a group of trees down here at about 270 or 80, and the basket's tucked around behind it. Now I normally throw this adder on a flex line forehand and come up short. So I'm thinking I might try, I think I'm going to try this sword again. Now last time I left it a little too far to the right, so let's compensate for that just a little. I want to go straight down the fairway. That will, oh crud. It looked like a beautiful shot. Turns out it's going to be 50 feet short, and it's tucked in by a pair of trees that is going to make the next shot tough. All right, so this is what we got. We got big old tree here, and I've got about, I don't know, 60 or 70 feet. And I've got a pair of trees, one on either side. I can try to go up the middle. I probably could. Yeah, let's do a forehand and go out around the left side. Or, are you kidding me? So it was short, it hit the right-hand tree and just made a stupid roll to the left. Okay, this rollaway was uncalled for. Absolutely uncalled for. I could have been up there. Little frustration putt there. Ay, ay, ay. And the camera was on a weird angle. All right. Hole 18. Green is 300. Orange is 560. Green is par 3 and orange is par 4. Green is halfway down the fairway that goes straight ahead. Sorry, I'll go on the side. Halfway down, goes straight ahead. Basket is tucked on the right, in a little alcove green. Orange, keep going down the hill, past all the trees that are on the left, past the rough that's on the right, and then another probably 150 down the hill towards the river. I normally throw a fairway here, but with the downhill throw and the OB road that's on the left, I think I'm going to throw a nice controlled mid-range, and since it's a warship, it'll get some glide, and see if I can avoid the OB and the trees. And I believe I'm out in the open. Wow. All right. I love that mid-range. All right. Well, the magic numbers on the cart say I have about 200 to the basket. The green slopes away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a forehand out over the road, out over the OB, and let it come back. See if I can't stick it close without rolling away. Yeah, we'll see how close I am. Okay, well, that's a little extra juice, a little more than I needed. So it looks like I'm about, I don't know, 20 feet and downhill pretty hard. Nope, low. Knew it out of my hand. Oh well, would have been nice to end on a birdie. Okay. Finish up. All right, so that's Kline's Run. Kline's Run Orange. You can see it's just a beautiful park. It's a great course. It's a lot of up and down. There's some real iconic shots here. The hole 10 that goes up on the wall, hole 11 that goes across the creek to the birthday cake, 18 that comes down to this vista. I mean, there's a bunch of holes here that are just gorgeous. The only downside is it's a huff. It's a lot of walking and a lot of up and down. So be in shape. I'm working on it. I'll get there soon. I'll get there eventually. I'll get there. Anyway, no tournaments for me for a couple of weeks. My next tournament is the Lake Marshall Open, and I love those courses down there. Can't wait to play them. But a couple of weeks off of tournaments gives me some opportunities to go out and film some more local courses to do playthroughs. So, till I see you guys out on the course, go smash some chains.